Welcome to the latest episode of 5 on the Floor on the 5 Reasons Sports Network. Thanks for joining us on your favorite podcast app on Apple Podcasts, on Android. We recommend Spotify. Also, check out the 5 Reasons YouTube channel for all the content around the South Florida sports spectrum if you want to be depressed about the Dolphins. Also, check out PrizePicks. Use the code 5, F-I-V-E. Put down your $5, get your $50 to play right away. PrizePicks legal in the state of Florida. We tell you all the time, not only does this help you, this helps us. It's one of our primary sponsors. Just use that code. Get your $50. We get credit for it. You get to play daily fantasy simplified across the sports spectrum. Of course, the NFL is back in the NBA soon. So go to PrizePicks, use the code FIVE. Also, check out Off the Floor. That's our Discord server. Lots more coming there this season. Most Heat information, most Heat conversation. It's Off the Floor. Finally, before we go, I want to mention both Alex and I are going to be writing for the Sports Illustrated Miami Heat page, which I am now managing. Brady wrote his first article there today as well. You'll also find Austin Dobbins and others. That's going to be another central place for Heat content. We're giving you more than anybody else. And now, today's episode.
Uh-oh. Yeah. It's Mercy. Music by Mercy again. Heat Nation. We the culture. Yo, E, I need you to call timeout. Need Brady to set the floor plan. Tropical blanket. Open for the shot. Yo, Greg, set the pick. Still 5 on the floor, still ride for my dog. Still battle on the court, still survive in the war. Keep your eye on the ball, or get burned from the keep this mic off the wall without turning the cheek. From night to day, no sleepy paths or lounge of mornings. The nut is sleeping us, never catch us snoring. Live from Miami, report in the heat with 5 Reasons Sports from the courts to the streets. Yeah, Wake County, Heat Nation, we say it proudly.
Welcome to 5 on the Floor, a daily insider show on the Miami Heat and the NBA, featuring Ethan Skolnick, Greg Sylvander, Alex Toledo, Brady Hawk, and others from the 5 Reasons Sports Network. Also, make sure to subscribe to Off the Floor for the most heat anywhere.
All right, welcome back to 5 on the Floor. I'm Ethan Skolnick. Somewhere down there is Alex Toledo. You can follow him at Tropical Blanket. All right, we've hit the dead point of the offseason. So we've been giving you all these series. Brady will be back with his improvement series. Pretty soon we're going to be doing an improvement series on the hosts of 5 on the Floor. We should do that, actually. Like, where can Alex improve? Where can Greg improve? Where can I improve? Where can Eternal improve? I'm actually
man, that episode will be really long for me.
I think we should. I think we should do that to get to training camp. We're trying to get through whatever it is we can. So we're going to have some fun today, sort of. We're halfway through the decade. I don't know if you noticed. It's 2025. And so we figured we'd start to compile the Miami Heat's half-decade team. What do the 2020s look like? And so Alex and I have not prepped because that if we did, it would be abnormal. And I just threw this idea out about 13 minutes before after I did a Twitter search of Heat and realized we've done everything there already. By the way, a lot of stuff's coming out now that I've reported a long time ago. This thing about how Terry Rozier would not accept a buyout. I said that 2 weeks ago. Why would he take a buyout when he knows that nobody is going to sign him after he takes the buyout? Why would you give up money if you didn't have to? I don't blame him for that. I mean, then nobody's going to sign him until the FBI investigation is over, whenever that is. So that's a non-starter here. And all the players from the Heat all perform well, all 3 of them in Eurobasket, but they're all out. So we're not really talking about that anymore. There's a report that the Heat are interested in someone who got eliminated from Eurobasket. I'll probably bring on Brian Fonseca to talk about that because I know nothing about it. But today we're just gonna have some fun. So we're halfway through the decade. And it's about time to say, okay, what would be the Heat's all-decade team? So here are the rules. I'm setting the rules here. We have not prepared this beforehand. Anybody who played for the Heat during that time, okay? Anybody. So it could be a very short period of time. And this is the other rule I'm going to give you. It's not just for what they did during that short period of time. So while I don't want you taking the entire career into account, I would say Andrew Wiggins is eligible. Let's just put together the best possible team. Okay. So that's what we're going to do. It's not because what somebody did somewhere else or Davion struggled somewhere else or whatever, hasn't been any much. No, he's eligible. They're all eligible. Let's put together the best possible team from the players that have been here. Okay.
So it's almost like based on all the players that have been on the Heat roster at some point since 2020.
If you can have them at their best self with the Heat, this is the roster that you would put together. Now, but I don't want you doing projections. So, for instance, like we have Khalil Ware may end up being one of the 5 best players for this, but he's not yet, right? So, but doesn't mean he wouldn't be useful on this team, and maybe you would want his particular skill set. So let's just look at skill sets and what they, and they're all in the pool, okay? So we're gonna start to put together. Let's go back and forth here, and we're gonna put together one team, but we can argue it a little bit. Do we have any argument with Jimmy Butler being on the team, provided that he wants to play?
I mean, you might, but I don't.
I knew you were gonna say that. All right, so. Jimmy Butler's starting. Spell might start him at the 4, but obviously he's going to be there. He has not been suspended from this team yet. He's not walked out. He's not in a contract dispute. Jimmy Butler's on the team. Bam Adebayo on the team, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, man, this is going to get tough. This is going to – I mean, I haven't said it in a while. This is going to be a really tough question.
Well, not now, though.
Not now.
After the break. Okay, can we shut up the idiots? Tyler Hero's going to be on the team, right?
Yeah, probably. Most likely.
What do you mean probably?
I mean, yeah, like since I haven't even had time to think about that.
Why would you need to think about that? He's made an all-star team. He had 24, 23, 5 and 5 last year.
The only way. So look, this is where I'm putting Tyler on there almost definitely. The only way I'm saying you can make a case for other players is if you're doing. So this is where it could be a slippery slope, right? Victor Oladipo played for the Heat.
Okay,
are we doing like 2020 Oladipo? Like, are we doing this?
No, but
Are we doing it in the span of like between 2020 and 2025, their best year, putting that on the Heat? That's like
I think the best reasonable version of the player. Like to say Vic, I know I'm going against my own rules here, but I mean, come on. I mean, that would be like saying we're going to put Kevin Love starting at the 4.
Well, there you go.
So all right, so let me reset this, okay? Players who played for the Heat between 20 and 25, and maybe the best version of them since 2020. Can we do that? Maybe we'll do that. That's fairer, right?
You could still have those guys. Like I could still make a case for Vic, maybe for Love, who was a 6th man of the year. A 6th man of the year runner-up.
Okay. All right, but at least there's a reason.
But I think it makes it more interesting if we are doing it that way.
Basically, we're doing best version of them since COVID. Okay.
Yeah.
Since COVID. All right, that's what we're doing. Since Gobert blew on the microphone, we're doing it from that point forward. Okay. That's it. Since you and I left the arena with them down 30 to Charlotte or something like that at home, and the ushers told us we won't see you for a while, and they were right. So since that point, post-COVID, so this is the Miami Heat's post-COVID team. That'll get the clicks. You ready? Post-COVID team. Okay, so are we putting Tyler on the team?
The timing of you putting that as a headline right now.
Well, I mean, we're going to end up with every disease, no demand. We should just call this the RFK team. All right, go ahead. I'm sorry. I'm not supposed to get political. Let's. I mean, why wouldn't you listen to somebody who has had his brain eaten by a parasite about health? Okay, let's get to it. If our audience was Dolphins viewers, I would have just lost all of them. But I think with Heat viewers, I'm probably okay. All right, Bam, Jimmy. Can we put Tyler on the team? You don't have to start him. Can we put him on the team?
Yeah, no doubt.
Thank you. Okay,
for sure. I would still probably start him. It was just like a thought exercise there.
It's just being not a tough question.
Like where does Storm and Norman factor in here?
Well, he hasn't played for them yet.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, are we doing it? Like, are we including him? Like, what are we doing here? No, right?
No, I don't think so. I think you have to at least played. Okay. All right, let's do that. Okay, so post-COVID, have at least played. Right? Okay. All right. So we've got those 3, and then let's do one more here before we get to the break, and then we'll get to what actually are tough questions. Bam, Butler, Tyler. Who would be your 4th guarantee here? You put Kyle Lowry on the team again. It's got to be post-20. It's got to be post-COVID. We're not taking into account Toronto.
I think Kyle's almost definitely got to be here.
Okay, but I'm putting somebody on before him though.
Oh, and somebody we haven't mentioned yet?
Yeah, Goran.
Is it Wiggins? Oh no! Man. Wow, I can't believe I forgot Goran. Wow.
Okay. And I know he didn't play long for the Heat after, but I mean he's Heat lifer and
running the 1920 season.
I mean, even if we just literally counted the bubble run, he belongs here.
Well, yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah, so that is.
He was their second best player. He was there. He was there. I mean,
the
right?
calendar year 2020 is what you're doing here.
Post-COVID.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, no, post-COVID, he wasn't the same Goron anymore.
No, but he was no, but the bubble was post Gobert blowing on the mic. Okay. Post-season shutting down. We end up in Orlando. Yeah. Okay, and then everything that happened after. All right, Goran's on the team. Okay, so you know what? We'll get to the rest after the break. You have time to think. Bam, Butler, Hero, Dragic. We're putting together a 10-man rotation. Spo will only play 9. Okay. Before we do, you might have thought that I should have done this before this particular episode based on where this has gone. But I got to tell you about a game-changing product I use before a night out with drinks or just a podcast like this one. It's called pre-alcohol. Pre-alcohol ZBiotics. ZBiotics pre-alcohol probiotic drink is the world's first genetically engineered probiotic. It was invented by PhD scientists to tackle rough mornings after drinking. Here's how it works. When you drink, alcohol gets converted into a toxic byproduct in the gut. It's a buildup of this byproduct, not dehydration, that's to blame for rough days after drinking. Pre-alcohol produces an enzyme to break this byproduct down. Just remember to make pre-alcohol your first drink of the night. Drink responsibly, and you'll feel your best tomorrow. Fall right around the corner. That means it's time to raise a glass to your favorite team. Certainly not the Dolphins, but any of the others. Whether you're tailgating, enjoying a college game day like the Canes, or watching Sunday's action on that fancy new TV, don't forget ZBiotics pre-alcohol probiotic drink. Drink a pre-alcohol before drinking and enjoy great days after celebrating all season long. Go to zbiotics.com/on-the-floor to learn more and get 15% off your first order when you use on the floor at checkout. ZBiotics is backed with 100% money-back guarantee, so if you're unsatisfied for any reason, they will refund your money, no questions asked. Remember, head to zbiotics.com/on-the-floor. Use the code on-the-floor at checkout for 15% off. Okay. We'll put together the actual rotation after. Bam. Butler, Hero, Dragic. You're putting Kyle on the team for sure?
Yeah, no doubt. Especially if we're doing since that time period that you pointed out, I think that makes it even easier because I think you can throw him on the team, or you can make a case for him on the team for that first season, the first seed season. But then when you also take into account those last couple of Raptors years, those last 2-3 seasons, I think you got to throw him on there.
Okay. I mean, I'm not going to argue with you too much. I'll put him there for now. Okay. So let's look at let's look at the rest of this. There's some complicated ones here. Team needs a shooter.
I feel good about I think I know where my next 3 are going.
All right. Well, give me one of them. Give me one of them.
Well, I guess I'll just go with somebody that I already mentioned, Oladipo. I mean, if we're doing that time frame that you mentioned, he was a good player.
Hold on a second.
Right?
Hold on. Vic joined the team. I'm gonna tell you. I want to see. We're looking from COVID on, right? Well, you're right. Actually, in the bubble, he was pretty effective. Didn't he get? No, actually, wasn't the bubble? Yeah, the bubble. They played the Heat, right?
Yeah.
And then that was the time that he was shaking hands with the Heat instead of hanging out with the Pacers afterwards. That's how we were like, okay, he's definitely signing with Miami. Hold on a second. 2020.
I just figured that was around the time he was starting. He was still.
Man, I can't do this. I'm sorry. Look, okay, hold on. Starting with the 1920 season, he only played 19 games in the 1920 season. Okay. 2021, he played 33.
The season cut in half by COVID, to be fair.
But 33 games. 33 games in 2021.
Okay.
8 games in 2022, 21-22, 42 games with 22-23, and then out of the league. I can't do it.
Yeah, I guess it's more just my memory serving me wrong here because he was decent. It's just he wasn't at the top of his game. I thought the games played, yeah, that makes it murky. But if you want me to just go on, I mean, I was going by position here, which is why I went to the shooting guard Oladipo. But I mean, you've really moved me off here because playing combined games in 2 years is really tough, and then after that is really started to decline.
I mean, he had more knee surgeries than points. I can't do it. And again, I wish the best for him. I hope he gets back in the league, but not after 2020.
He was a decent part of that team that whatever they were, the 4th or 5th seed. No, the Heat were the 5th seed, so they were the 4th seed. So I was thinking about that type of player where he was still a pretty good player. But I get you. I'm probably that's a lot more complicated than I gave it credit for. Now the next guys would be to me Wiggins.
Okay.
I think Wiggins, if we're doing like time periods and picking guys at their best, like
yeah, that's fair.
The finals Wiggins, 2022 Wiggins, whatever you want to say, like that version of him, I think for sure deserves to be on this team.
Okay, I'm adding Max.
Oh, it's interesting you went there. What version of Max are you adding?
The version that Spo started ahead of Duncan.
Okay.
I just look, and I might add Duncan too. I'm gonna as we go forward here, but I'm looking at it. I'm like, okay, he started on a finals team. He earned a $60-something million contract. He's been an effective. Obviously, he's hurt now. He's been an effective player since he left. He's had more success than Gabe has since he left. He brought an element of physicality. I know that he had some poor shooting games when it mattered, obviously, but he also made an enormous shot that got them into the playoffs in the first place. And he was kind of
crazy against the Knicks.
Went crazy against the Knicks and was screwed by that one shot, of course, in the 2022 game that we all remember. Otherwise, they're probably in the finals. I think, again, it's got to be a team Spill would play the guys, too. I think we need to take that into account. So, I mean, you were trying to put Oladipo on there. The man literally was in the hospital more than he was on the court. I can't do it. So
I'm going off your parameters, man.
Okay, I'm putting Max on the team. All right. So you're putting Wiggins on the team. I mean, again, not with his Heat performance, but I get it. Can we make an argument?
Performance, like, not saying it would for sure be there, but like he wasn't that bad. It's just that he was terrible in the playoffs. That's for damn sure.
Yes,
he was awful.
Well, he won the only one. All right. What about? How do you feel about Caleb Martin?
Okay, so here we go. This is like the other two guys I had in mind. That's what I was going to say. It's interesting you went Max before Caleb, because Caleb's peak, I think, clears Max's peak, which to me was that.
I have them both on the team. That's
fair. I think that's cool. And obviously Max is a huge part of the two runs in 22 and 23. And I think he averaged like 15 against the Knicks. So if we're just doing like peak for peak, I'm thinking like New York Knicks, Max Strus. Maybe it wasn't 15. It was something like that. He had like a really high scoring series and was hitting all his threes in that one. They were leaving him open and he was hitting them all. And look, Max is really good, man. He did a lot for that Heat team. But Caleb, man, that peak against the Celtics has to be on this team. If we're doing peaks, it has to be here somewhere. And then I also think we skipped somebody who I mentioned earlier, who the Heat just traded, Kevin Love. If we're doing peaks since 2020, I think he has to be on this team.
Okay, I'll give you some thought on that. I'm going to give you a couple of other options here. I just want to give you the minutes played on the 21-22 team, which was their best team. Okay, not the team that they didn't go to the finals, but their best team. Leaders in minutes played were Jimmy and Kyle, which is why I'm giving you Kyle, which, by the way, is what's going to keep Gabe off this team. Okay,
I think
you're comfortable with that.
Unless you want to put Gabe at the 2 or something, like that's a different story.
Are you comfortable with Lowry ahead of Gabe or Davion?
Over Gabe, yeah. Because if we're not just doing Heat tenure, I think it's a easy one.
Okay. All right. Next in minutes played, Bam, and then the next two guys who I think both deserve consideration: PJ Tucker played 28 minutes on that team, and Duncan Robinson, who played 26.
Mm-hmm. I think those are probably the next two, like them and Gabe are is that next class of guys here. How many people do we have right now, man?
Right now we're at 8. So we have no bigs, which is typical of the Miami Heat culture. Bam, Butler, Hero. We haven't put together a lineup yet, but Bam, Butler, Hero, Dragic, Caleb, Wiggins, Lowry, and Strus. I'm going to give you the minutes played for the following year, team that went to the finals. Leaders in minutes: Tyler, Bam, Jimmy, Kyle, Caleb, Max, Vic, Gabe, Kevin Love, Haywood Highsmith, and Duncan. Remember, that was the year that Duncan kind of got phased out. Then I'm going to go to 2021, which was the okay. So on that one, 2021 minutes played: Jimmy, Bam, Duncan, Tyler, Kendrick Nunn. No. Trevor Ariza. No, oh my God. He averaged 28 minutes. Kelly Olynyk. I'm just writing it down. Iguodala. The ill-fated Avery Bradley signing.
Jay Crowder.
Yes, that's another one.
Are we? If we're doing peaks in series, 2020 Jay Crowder versus the Bucks.
He also sucked in the finals, but nobody seems to remember that. But that's okay.
Yeah, but the thing is, you just put Max on there, like, and
that's true. I'm just gonna give you another one here, 23-24, because I'm just so we don't miss any names here, because we always do that. Minutes leaders: Jimmy, Bam, Tyler, Rozier, Jaquez, Lowry, Duncan, Caleb, Haywood. I mean, Jaquez is 1 year, but again, I feel like we're going to look back at this and say if we don't end up with Ware or Jovic, but I don't think either of them has done enough, right? So that's right.
I mean, I guess like that period before Jovic got hurt is like his peak.
Yeah.
Like those 20 games, or maybe you could say the end of the season before when he was a starter.
Mm-hmm.
But even then, I think that's not like a great case. I think there's no way. No. Honestly, any of these guys we're talking about here, I'm putting them over Love if we're including since 2020.
All right, well, let's handle the small ball 4 thing first, because I feel like that's guy Spo's going to play. We've already put Caleb on the team. We've already put Wiggins on the team. I'm going to give you a choice of one of these 3, okay? Because I'm putting Duncan on the team. I'm sorry.
I'm with you there, actually. Okay. I think he's had multiple, like, I think his whatever you want to count as his peak, especially like once you account like for the stuff he developed in the last couple of years, I think he's probably around there.
But here's the problem with this team, which we'll get to. Oh my God, the defense on the perimeter: Hero, Dragic, Lowry, Strus, and Duncan. Holy bleep!
I mean, again, like
Spo still find a way to get him top 12 somehow. Poor Bam. God, they've had some bad point of attack defenders. My God. Like that's why the Davion Drew Smith thing, like I get it. Like, you just got to stop the bleeding. All right. I'm giving you these 3 guys. You can pick one. Crowder, PJ Tucker, or Highsmith. It's easy for me, but I feel like you're going a different direction.
I feel like you're going PJ.
Yes, I am.
I think it's fair. I just think, okay, so this is why I've been trying to like focus on what your parameters are, because that's what I think ends up like deciding the nitpicking here. Because if we're doing peaks, right, and we're doing 2023 Celtics Caleb Martin, 2023 Knicks Max Strus, I think 2020 Jay Crowder is right there. We're like, he was great, obviously, like he was good, instrumental that whole run. But that
Dwayne Dedmon was also the best player in a playoff game for the Heat.
Okay, that doesn't. Jay Crowder was a big part of the final.
By the way, I love K-Love now, as you know, but I don't know, man. Like, okay, if you go post-COVID, yes, he was 2nd and 6th man of the year to Tyler, by the way, in 21-22, and then obviously not really functional as a player in Cleveland after that, and with Miami, pretty limited role.
Since 2020. So that's why I think he's a no-brainer if we're doing those parameters.
Can we add Kevin Love 11 as sideline cheerleader and vibes getter?
No.
IG poster. I don't have a problem putting Kevin on the team, but like PJ Tucker was the starting 4. PJ Tucker was the starting 4. They had their best rebounding season on what was their best regular season team.
That's fair.
I know he fell off afterwards, but I have him over Crowder by far. Because
he definitely has a strong case. I think we're really nitpicking here. Like, I think PJ Tucker's tenure with the Heat was more impressive than Crowder's. That's why I think the peaks thing is kind of muddying the waters for me here.
Fair.
Like, PJ is probably better than Caleb. I mean, better than Caleb overall. You know what I mean? Yeah. Caleb at his best was like something, we didn't see before or after. So that's why the peak stuff is getting in the way here a little bit.
Well, here's the problem with this team, okay? So if we're going with these 10, which I've kind of forced on you, and say Kevin Love is not in it, your starting lineup is, let's do the starting lineup, and I'm going to show you what the problem is because it comes to the bench, okay? Bam, PJ, Jimmy, Tyler, and Dragic. God, they're not going to defend anybody. Or you putting Tyler off the bench because that was their best team, and you're going to start Strus or Duncan at the 2.
No, I would go. I'd go Lowry, Hero, Jimmy, Bam, and
PJ, and then Dragic is your 6th man.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, I keep forgetting about Dragic. I don't know why. I mean, okay, so we're building lineups here, right? We're not
now I've given you 10 with Love being the 11th, which I shaded out.
If we're building lineups, then we're not talking about who was better for the Heat, blah blah blah. I think I would start Lowry.
Okay.
And I love Goran, man, I really do. But that I cannot start Dragic and Hero together in that Goran. Yeah, as good as Jimmy and Bam are. And then after that, I think my odd take here is if we're gonna go with a four, a quote unquote small ball four, a wing at the 4, I'm going Wiggins.
Okay, but then you go Wiggins, and you know what your bench is? Hold on. Okay, so let's say you went Wiggins here. You're going Bam, Butler, Wiggins, Hero, Lowry, and then, by the way, that's not going to defend anybody either because Kyle didn't really defend. And then, okay, and then you're basically you take Wiggins off, so your bench. This is what you're bringing off your bench. This is like a 6'4" and under team, which probably tells you some of their issues have been. Your bench is now Caleb at the 5, PJ at the 5, Caleb at the 4, Duncan, Strus, and Dragic.
Yeah.
Caleb ain't solving that problem, by the way.
No, definitely not. Well, that's the thing. Hey, we're just working with the parameters here. Yes, and I do think that's, I keep going back to, like, I'm not doing the Lowry, like Heat Lowry as like his peak here. I'm really not. I'm thinking of like the Toronto Lowry. That's why
Yeah, I know.
And I think even Heat Lowry was a better defender than all the other guys he threw there.
The Heat were thinking of Toronto Lowry when they gave him 3 years for 90 also, unfortunately. Okay.
But poor Bam. Like I said, you're going to run into that problem regardless. Building a rotation here.
This shows you, every exercise we do like this shows you.
Or you just throw in more of those wings that like we kind of picked out at the end there. Like if you want to throw in a Crowder or we already have Caleb in there. Like you would have to do some creative staggering there because there's a lot of
staggering for sure. We come back to this all the time. Again, 2 words, poor Bam. I mean, that's pretty much how it's been like for this entire half decade, right? Like, I mean, there's not even anybody else we could consider. Like we had these Cody Zeller minutes, the Thomas Bryant minutes, the Dwayne Dedmon minutes. This is why this obsession about them getting another big is stupid because Spo's not going to play him anyway.
Yeah, like right? I mean, you could have like even if you wanted to throw like whatever Ware's peak is in here just to have another 5, like I guess,
right.
But I mean, this is just some topic we threw together anyway, so it's not that big of a deal.
It's not, but it's going to make a point for 2 different people. For one, it shows they've had some nice players, a lot of undrafteds on this list. I guess Duncan, Strus, and Caleb, right? They've had some nice players around Jimmy. They've developed some of their own, like Tyler and Bam being first-round picks. Obviously, Wiggins came in the trade for Jimmy. Dragic and Lowry were traded for each other. Lowry's a free agent prior to that. But it's going to say 2 things. One is Jimmy lifted some pretty ordinary groups to the finals, which I know is a point that you've made. And also Bam has not had a lot of help up front. And it does seem like there is a correction going on there where you draft Ware, right? You're leaning into Jovic, even though he's not a traditional big. And the roster now, the projected rotation is 7 guys who were drafted. I think 5 of them first-round picks. Or it's actually 8. Well, Larson and Powell were second-round picks. But Ware, Jovic, Bam, Tyler, Wiggins, all first-round picks, right? And so, I mean, I think and I'm now missing a couple. So I think what we're seeing is the Heat are getting away from a lot of the stuff they did earlier this decade, which was
more point of attack guys. Also.
Right. More point of, and right. Davion's the other, he was a first round pick too. So leaning more into guys who were projected to be higher upside talents before the draft, first round picks, whether theirs or someone else. And also just leaning into Ware to actually have a legitimate big playing with Bam, whether he's starting or he's not, shows that this has gone a different direction. So maybe that was the point of this exercise.
So did we come up with a final answer here?
No. I'll give you Kevin Love. Well, I'm giving you Kevin Love just so they have somebody to come off the bench to pretend to be big, I guess. So who are we taking off?
Ooh.
PJ, I guess. If you're bringing him off the bench.
I don't know. I might want to keep PJ based on the problems we're outlining here.
And then I guess, and then you're taking Struz or Duncan off.
That's what I was kind of thinking. I think it would probably have to. Oh man, we're right back. We're here again, aren't we?
I'm not letting you do it. Have a good day, everybody.
Thank you for listening to the 5 on the Floor on the 5 Reasons Sports Network. After all, someone needs to listen to my dad.